Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm watching a video called 30 Geography Facts Most People Get Wrong by the Geography Bible. So yeah, let's give it a watch, and I'm gonna see if I knew that before or if I didn't.
If you are watching this video, you are probably interested in geography.
Yes.
Therefore, a lot of the facts we're about to tell you, you may already know. However, for the average Joe who isn't too intrigued by geography, a lot of them might get these facts wrong.
So basically you're telling me that I'm gonna get the questions right?
Hey guys, Sam here from the Geography Bible. I hope you are having a fantastic week, wherever in the world you may be. So sit back, relax, remember to like and subscribe, and we hope you learned something new. So let's kick off this video with fact number 1.
The UK and Great Britain, yeah, I knew that. Because the UK is England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Great Britain is just England, Scotland, and Wales.
Are not the same thing. Great Britain is the official collective name of England, Scotland, and Wales, and their associated islands. It does not include Northern Ireland and therefore should never be used interchangeably with the UK, something you see all too often. Number 2,
Holland and the Netherlands aren't the same thing. Yes, Holland is actually just a region in the Netherlands. I did know that. The Netherlands, that is the name. It's called Netherlands. Holland is a region within Netherlands.
Separate things. The Netherlands is the term for the country as a whole, 12 provinces, while Holland refers to just the 2 provinces of North and South Holland. Number 3, Toronto
isn't the capital. Okay, that's actually kind of a given. I live in Canada. Toronto isn't the capital of Canada. It's the capital of Ontario, but it's not the capital of Canada. The capital of Canada is Ottawa. If you live in Canada, you would get a whole massive rundown. In grade 4, you would also learn when I was in grade 4, there was the election, the federal election going on. So my teacher basically made us learn about the parties and stuff, and yeah, I liked that. I liked my grade 4 teacher.
of Canada. It is actually Vancouver. Just kidding. It's
Ottawa.
Number 4, Iceland isn't actually made of ice.
Yeah, I know. Surprising. And I don't know if he's gonna bring up Greenland, but Greenland isn't made of green.
Icelandic landscapes are shaped by the forces of nature and vary from
They're
deep
actually
fjords
literally
to
the
vast
opposite of each
volcanic
other.
deserts, through to black sand beaches, snow-capped mountains, and staggering waterfalls. Number 5, Iran isn't actually hot all of the time.
Iran has mountains and gets very cold. I never thought of Iran to be as a hot country. I didn't really think of Iran being equator levels. I thought Iran could get cold in the north, hot in the south, kind of like with Canada. Yeah.
In January and February, Iran can see temperatures as low as 4 degrees Celsius.
4 degrees? You're complaining about 4 degrees? Dude, we experience negative 4 degrees at a warm winter day.
Number 6, Greenland isn't as big as it looks on a map.
Yeah, they basically just stretch the northern countries so that it could look good on a flat map. So Russia actually isn't that big. Canada's not that big. Greenland's not that big. Yeah, Greenland is nowhere near the size of Africa.
Greenland is astronomically distorted on a traditional map.
Yeah, it's about the size of Democratic Republic of the Congo.
7, Rio isn't the capital of Brazil.
It's Brasilia. There's so many countries in North and South America that the capitals get mixed up, like Canada, US, Brazil, a lot. Yeah.
It had been the federal capital of the South American country from 1822 until 1960. But today, Rio was actually the capital of the Portuguese Empire.
That's cool.
Of Brazil is actually Brasilia, in the central plateau of the country. Number 8, Texas isn't the largest state. Texas.
Yeah, it's not. It's Alaska. Texas is actually the second largest state by land and by population.
Is approximately 678,000 square kilometers, while Alaska is around 1.5 million square kilometers.
Yeah.
So, around double. Number 9, Mount Everest isn't technically the...
I mean, that's the first one that I didn't know. Why isn't it technically the tallest mountain in Geography
tallest
Bible?
mountain in the world. Ecuador's Mount Chimborazo protrudes further out due to it being closer to the equator.
Bruh. Are you kidding?
Mount Everest is the tallest by height by sea level. Number 10, Johannesburg is not the capital of South
No, South Africa might have 3 capitals. Johannesburg's not one. I know Pretoria's one. Yeah.
Africa, and neither is just Cape Town. It is in fact
Yeah, Cape
Bloemfontein,
Town.
Pretoria, and Cape Town. Number 11, Antarctica is actually the driest continent.
I did know that. Antarctica is in fact the driest continent on Earth. I don't know why, but I think it's because it's basically just a wasteland. But with the climate changes and global warming, I think the ice will melt and won't be the driest anymore.
On Earth, not Africa. A desert is defined as a dry area that has very little rainfall. Given this, Antarctica is actually the largest desert in the world. Number 12, Brazil is larger than the continental.
Brazil is larger than... Yeah. I would imagine so. Because when you look at the continental U.S., it's the 48 states, Washington, Oregon, California, to Maine, Florida, like the west to the east. You don't include Hawaii, you don't include Alaska, you don't include those EEZs that people for some reason count as the actual country's land. You would imagine that Brazil would be bigger than the United States, but you throw in Alaska, which is double the size of Texas, and then Hawaii, just a bit of extra land, and then you throw in the territories like the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Northern Mariana Islands. I think it's very clear to see that Brazil is bigger than continental U.S.
U.S. Although the U.S. is the 4th largest country in the world and Brazil is 5th, that's mostly because of U.S. territories. Number 13, Sydney is not the capital of Australia.
It is Canberra. Dude, I've always been a geography nerd since I was 3 or 4. I didn't actually know that the capital of Australia was Melbourne until I was 7 or 8. Canberra, sorry. I thought it was Sydney, and then I thought it was Melbourne. But no, it's Canberra.
Although it is the most populated and arguably iconic city in Australia,
Yeah,
its
that's true.
capital is Canberra. Number 14, the pyramids of Giza aren't in the middle of the desert.
No, they're actually near a highway or a road in Giza.
Many people assume that a visit to the pyramids of Giza requires a long trek into the Egyptian desert,
Nope.
when in fact it's quite an easy trip from the Cairo city centre. Number 15, Istanbul is not the capital
Yes, bro. The right answer is Ankara.
of Turkey. Although it is their most popular and iconic city, the capital is in fact Ankara. Number 16, the Atlantic Ocean isn't actually...
Who ever thought the Atlantic Ocean was the largest body of water on Earth? Who ever thought it was the Atlantic? Who on this world thought it was the Atlantic? It's always been the Pacific.
It's actually the largest body of water on Earth. But in fact, the Pacific Ocean is actually the largest body of water in the world. Number 17, Norway has the second most...
Yes, the second most coastline. The reason is it has 6,000 kilometers of coastline. The reason is because of the Svalbard Islands, I think they're called, that have this paradox, and it's going on forever. But it doesn't have the largest Canada does. Mainly because we only have two borders. Alaska in the west, northwest, and the US in the south. So everywhere else is a coastline. And then we also have those islands near Nunavut and the Northwestern Islands, and then the two islands from British Columbia. So we have the most coastline in the world.
Most coastline in the world. Most people would assume a gigantic country like Australia, the US, or Russia may have the second most coastline behind Canada, when in fact it is Norway. Number 18, Java is the most populated island.
I mean, if I looked at population numbers, it wouldn't be hard to believe. But I don't have the population numbers memorized in my head as well as I do land. I know what the 10 biggest countries are in the world by land. I could literally name it to you right now. Russia, Canada second, China, US, Brazil, 6th place, Australia, India, Argentina, Kazakhstan, Algeria. But I cannot name the population. I know it's China, India, US, Indonesia, Brazil, Nigeria, Pakistan. You'll lose me at 8th place. Russia, Mexico. So, I mean, I would probably think that, but I guess I'll just add it to another fact that I didn't know. So, only 2 facts that I didn't know.
Around 150 million. Java is by far the most populated island in the world, home to Indonesia's megacity capital, Jakarta. Number 19, speaking of islands, Great Britain is the third most...
Great Britain is the third most populated island in the world? For real? Really? Really? Third most popular? You're joking. No way. 3 questions wrong. 3 things wrong.
Britain is in fact the third most populated island in the world at around 66 million inhabitants. Number 20, Greenland is the largest island in the world.
Yeah, I knew that. I mean, even without that previous fact, it is still the biggest island. I think that was kind of obvious, but, you know, because, like, when you think of the biggest countries in the world, they're not islands. Russia's not an island. Canada's not an island. China, they're not an island. The US isn't an island. Brazil isn't an island. Like, those big countries aren't islands. Australia's an island, but Greenland's bigger.
Not Australia, which is technically a continent. An island is a
Australia's not a continent, it's Oceania.
mass of land that is both entirely surrounded by water and also smaller than a continent. By that definition, Australia can't be an island because it's already a continent. Number 21, Suriname's official language is Dutch, not Spanish or Portuguese. Number 22, California is actually...
Unfortunately, I knew that from like 4 years ago. 3 years ago, maybe? Yeah, like 3 years ago I knew that. I knew that 3 years ago when Canada's population was 36 million and when California's was 38. We kind of lost some and gained some in 2020, but 2021 it went up by 2 million. So we had 38 million. California had like 39 million. And now we have 39 million and California has 40.
Actually more populated than the entirety of Canada. Number 23, Spanish is the second most native spoken language in the world behind Mandarin, not English. Number 20,
I think I knew that. I'm just gonna give it. Okay. China does not have a city in the top 5 most populated in the world. Bruh, I don't even think I would ever want to know the top 5 most populous cities. If I had to guess one, I probably would put one in China. But, you know, if I had to guess, I'd have to guess, like, Mumbai, New Delhi, like, Indian cities. Now knowing this, so that is another one on the fact I didn't know. Only 5 so far.
In the top 5 most populated in the world.
Those are the most populated in the world? Or in Asia?
Now this one is insane.
North Korea and Finland are separated by one country. Yep, that is true. I knew that. They're separated by Russia. You could also make the argument that Georgia. Does Georgia border Russia? I think Georgia borders Russia. So Georgia and North Korea are separated by one country. Latvia and Georgia are separated by one country. Norway and North Korea are separated by one country. And if you really want to go insane, the barren wasteland of Mongolia is just one country away from India, which is the most populated country outside of China. And of course, Mongolia borders China. But China will soon be overtaken by India. So if you are Indian, I'm not trying to be rude, but you might want to get out now.
North Korea and Finland are separated by just one country.
That's true. You look at this map. Kazakhstan could be separated just by North Korea, Belarus, Lithuania, Ukraine. What other country borders Russia? Mongolia, but I mean, Mongolia and North Korea, they're both there's 25 million people in North Korea. There's 25 people in Mongolia.
Number 26, Greenland is not an independent.
Oh my, yes, this is one of the absolutely worst things I hear. As a geography nerd, whenever I go into class and then people are like, oh, is Africa a country? Is Asia a country? Russia, the continent, right? Russia's the continent? Oh yeah, Greenland, the country. And then I'm just like, no. Russia's a country.
Greenland is an autonomous, constituted country within the Kingdom of Denmark. And though it does enjoy a great deal of self-government,
That's true.
it is not independent. Number 27, Florida is not the closest state.
The closest state to Africa, I would imagine, would be Massachusetts. I think I heard somewhere that the closest U.S. state to the continent of Africa was Massachusetts because of an island on the east coast of Massachusetts. I think it's Massachusetts.
State to Africa. Now this one blew my mind.
It has to be Massachusetts, right?
Florida is the southeastern state. It cuts into the Atlantic, but it's not the case. A small peninsula.
It's Massachusetts.
Maine, known as Quoddy Head, is a mere 3,000.
Oh yeah, it's Maine because, dude, where am I getting my facts from?
Miles from Morocco. The closest point, Florida to Africa, is 1,000 miles further. Number 28, Mexico is technically not south of the U.S.
That is true, but it depends where you are. If you are in Seattle, Mexico would be south of the U.S. But if you live in the bottom parts of Texas, there's more northern parts than you that are Mexican, you know?
The U.S. While it may seem a little counterintuitive, 11 U.S. states have land farther south than the most northern point in Mexico.
11? Okay, let's try to guess them all right now. California, Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida. No, Georgia doesn't have a coastline. Hawaii? I lost track.
Parts of Texas, for example, U.S.-Mexico border
New Mexico, probably.
as being off to the west. Number 29, Afghanistan is geographically more
Afghanistan is in South Asia, but it's Southwest Asia.
in South Asia than the Middle East, and is closer to Mumbai than the likes of Iraq or Yemen.
Yeah, it does look
And
like that.
finally, number 30. Egypt isn't only located in Africa.
Oh my! I once commented Like, you know, Egypt is in Africa. Asia is in Asia. Egypt is in Asia too. And then the person was like, no, Egypt is in only Africa. And then I was like, okay. Dude, I was pretty young. But, like, yeah, Egypt is in Africa and Asia. It's the Suez Canal that basically, like, separates them. So Egypt is technically in the Middle East.
Africa. Sure, Egypt is part of the African continent, but it's technically considered to be a transcontinental country.
Yeah, look at
While
that.
the Suez Canal divides Asia and Africa, there's actually a small peninsula in Egypt that transcends the canal and toes the line between the two continents. So there we have it, 30 geography facts that most...
Okay, so let's give this guy one more fact about geography. Armenia technically isn't in Europe. Okay. Peace, guys.